All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. My name is Yewande Falian. I am a former McKinsey consultant and Morgan Stanley VP turned founder and CEO. And I'm also a certified executive and leadership coach. And at Otita, which is my company, we focus on helping entrepreneurial executives and serial high achievers to accelerate into more senior, more impactful, and more meaningful leadership positions. So let's dive straight into today's show. If you are part of my tribe of ambitious entrepreneurial serial high achievers, you probably crave and feed off of accomplishments, right? Many of us do. And you want to achieve more, you want to have more impact, more meaningful impact, and also be rewarded for this with increasingly senior roles, positions, projects, and of course, titles. You know that you can achieve more because, and without being arrogant, you are pretty darn good at what you do, right? And you have a track record to prove it. So maybe you've thought to yourself, I know that if I just did it myself, it would be done better, faster, and with fewer errors. Errors. Does that sound familiar? It might. With that thought in mind, it wouldn't be surprising if you are trying to guarantee your success by doing all the things yourself, right? And you may be doing the things that Kareem, one of my clients, was doing. That may sound like taking on more and more tasks yourself because you have the skill sets to execute them and to execute them at a very high standard. You might be delegating tasks only when you are 100% sure that the other person can do it. Otherwise, you'll just need to redo it anyway, right? Which will take longer. You might be staying extra close to people you aren't, quite sure are up to the task, aka micromanaging, maybe even scripting exactly what they should be doing to the minutia detail. And you might even just be doing the work for them and showing them what you want instead, right? Because again, if you do it, it'll be quicker, it'll be faster, it'll be more accurate, it'll just be better. So today I'm going to share, first of all, the inadvertent limiting results of your DIY approach and what to do instead to actually fast track to the type of success that you actually want and the results that you're actually looking for. All right. So let's taking the DIY approach. It may give you a sense of control and security for the win, right? Because a lot of us like to take that control. Again, if you're doing it yourself, you know what you're doing, right? You know how it's gonna play out. You know how you're gonna show up. You know the results. You know the outcome. It gives a sense of security. It gives a sense of guarantee. It also comes often with if you kind of compare what Kareem was doing and many of my clients, it comes with exhaustion, overwhelm, a lack of time, right? Because there are only 24 hours in a day, and that also includes sleep time. And this is often completely opposite to the thing that helps you amplify your ability to lead, to perform, and to create the results that you want. So when you think about being in that place of greater impact, right? Having more meaningful impact, creating the success that you want, moving up and stepping up into more senior leadership positions, exhaustion, overwhelm, lack of time, these are not the things that help you to achieve that. But it is natural to take this approach, right? It makes sense. It's made sense to a lot of us. It's made sense to me in the past. You no doubt don't want to feel exhausted or overwhelmed. However, your experience is probably telling you that you are the most equipped person, the most experienced person, the most knowledgeable person to do the task. And you may be saying to yourself, again, I know that if I just did it myself, it'll be done better, it'll be faster, it'll have fewer results. I also won't need to explain to someone else exactly how I want to do it. So ultimately, it'll just be better all around. And when you maybe look back at some of the moments where you've succeeded, you may also notice that you've often needed to push yourself through that exhaustion, through that overwhelm, through that time pressure. So it just may feel inevitable that it is part and parcel of delivering meaningful impact, right? Maybe not. So let me ask you the same thing that I asked Kareem. Does everyone who has achieved greatness and meaningful impact and more senior leadership roles, has every single person done that to the point of exhaustion and overwhelm and doing everything that themselves, taking this DIY approach? Maybe pause for a second and think about a time when you achieved great success and you were not doing all the things, right? You weren't exhausted, you weren't overwhelmed, you weren't under intense time pressure. Um, I have no doubt that you've had such an experience. So maybe just pause. Feel free to pause the video, but come back and just think about what was actually happening in that moment. What were the benefits of that approach versus your default, right? The doing all the things cycle that you may be in right now. Remember that correlation is not the same as causality, right? Just because you've experienced exhaustion, overwhelm, doing all the things yourself, and you've also seen results come from that, it does not mean that those are the reasons why you're getting great results. And the default belief that you have to do all the things to create the results that you want is probably one of the strongest limiting beliefs that holds maybe someone like you, but certain people in my tribe, right, from fast tracking their professional progression and exponentially increasing the impact that they want. And it may also be the single biggest limiting belief that's also holding you back. So what's the alternative? Greater success with more impact and seniority. So if just like Kareem, you're trying to achieve all of that, and at the same time, you're also trying to control everything by doing it yourself, yes, you may create short-term success, but with the same, again, increased exhaustion and overwhelm and time pressure. Again, correlation is not the same as causality. Just because that's what's got you to where it is that you think you've wanted to get to with the big projects you've delivered doesn't mean that that's the cause of your success. And in reality, that exhaustion and overwhelm is probably actually impeding your ability to perform the way that you want to as a leader. So the alternative is to really switch your approach and your mindset, just like Kareem did. What if instead you believed that the other people, right, the other people around you, because there are lots of people who could do lots of different things, are just as capable and maybe even more capable at delivering the result that you want better, faster, more accurately than you could? What do you think would be possible then? And instead of focusing on figuring out how you can make or how you can do more with the little time that you have, instead maybe focusing on people leadership. You know that you've mastered people leadership when you basically find yourself creating greater success than you're able to and having more impact than you could, and you feel effortless in the way that you're doing it. Right? So it's not effortful. You're not going to a place of exhaustion. You're not doing and doing and doing to create the results, but you're actually finding that you're creating more results, greater impact, right? Showcasing that you can take on more senior leadership roles, and you're doing more, but you're actually, or you're creating more, sorry, but you're actually doing less. That's the sign or symptom or the sign of mastering people leadership. At the same time, another advantage of this is that people around you actually want to work with you, right? They see you achieving, and they want to be part of that tribe, part of that group. And they're also finding that they're able to achieve more than they even thought was possible for themselves. You feel resourceful. You also feel in control because you're still in control of the stuff. But now, instead of also being exhausted and overwhelmed and time poor, you can, just like Kareem said, say, and I quote, all of a sudden, I can lay back and enjoy the outcome of my team. All right. Hope you enjoyed that. Big takeaway for today. Just remember, taking on more yourself may be giving you a sense of control, but it's probably actually limiting you in terms of what it is that you can achieve, in terms of what you can deliver, in terms of your impact. And actually, you probably have less control because the only thing you're trying to control is the thing you're doing, as opposed to understanding what's going on around. It also limits other people because they don't get the opportunity to grow. And when you limit other people from growing, you're often limiting yourself, right? You're holding on to the things that you already know how to do. Other people aren't getting that chance. They can't grow, you can't grow, and you're feeling a little bit stuck. That's the key to really creating effortless success that enables you and the people around you to step up into greater success. If you are ready, and I always like to offer this at the end of my shows, if you're ready to get off of that exhausting impact minimizing cycle of doing, and doing, to move to feeling a feeling of true control, leading people to create greater impact than you could ever do just by yourself, then I'd love to invite you to a clarity call with me. So head over to otitaleadership.com/clarity. It's also in the link somewhere. Or feel free to DM me and just say, hey, I'm interested in learning more, and I'd be more than happy to share with you. Look forward to hearing how you get on. Share in the comments as always, things that you found work and maybe don't work. And I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place, and have a great rest of your day.